Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Jonathan, and today I'm bringing you a story about why I thought I was going to die at tech school. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of sarcasm in there, but honestly, we'll get to it in a second. So, when you're at Keesler, I don't know about any of the other tech schools and what they do, but at Keesler, when you're in the triangle and all that stuff, we have down Fridays, right? And this is at the 336 training squadron for like pretty much all of the comm stuff. So the other places do it differently, but us, we obviously every other week we had a down Friday, which is basically a half day where instead of going to class and stuff, I think you still do PT in the morning. I think we did PT on Fridays mornings or whatever, but we did PT, I think, and then we reported later, and basically like your MTIs and I don't even remember what they all were called, to be honest, like all the positions, but they're gonna brief you all and they talk, and then you break into little small groups and you talk to your personal like Bay MTI and all sorts of stuff like that, right? That's usually how it would go, and then we get released around like 11 or 12, and then you're good for the rest of the weekend from like 12 on Friday, which is awesome, right? So one of the Fridays, we had it was like Wingman Day or something like that, where Airman Day, or I'm pretty sure it was Wingman Day, but we all got together and people volunteered for sports, and the MTIs set everything up, and we all set everything up, and there was like volleyball, there was basketball, there was a relay, tug of war, there was a bunch of stuff like that, okay? And me and my friend, we're going to sign up for a sport. I think we wanted to play dodgeball or basketball or something like that. And everything was taken because we were registering really last minute. So the only thing left was a relay, okay? And so we signed up for the relay, and that was it from there. Now I'm gonna break off and tell you what the problem with this was. So, I hate running. I really do not like running. I don't like running on PT tests. I've ran through BMT, before I went to BMT training, at BMT, during tech school, into my base. Like, we run a lot, right? I sprained my ankle a couple months ago, so I haven't been running recently, but I hate running. No matter how many times I run for distance or time or whatever it is, I don't understand how people get enjoyment out of it. It's just my body just doesn't like it. I mean, even when I was in the best shape of my life, I still hated running. I can lift weights, I can do other cardio, I just don't like running. And it's funny because I didn't know what a relay was. When I was thinking of Wingman Day and like, oh, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be kind of competitive, I was thinking a relay was like like a potato sack race, you know, like one of those like relays, I guess, right? Where there's like a bunch of people and it's like fun picnic sports, right? Stuff like that. I had no idea that a relay was, you know, racing, right? With like batons and all sorts of stuff like that. I had no idea. I've never taken track. I never played that sport or anything like that. So you can't really blame me for not knowing. But I learned the hard way. So I believe 400 meters is all the way around the track, right? So it was a 400 meter relay. And we had a team of like 4 or 5 people or something like that, and actually we didn't even end up racing on the same team, and I don't know why. And I know this video is like kind of random and stuff, but I like to tell you guys stories about tech school and stuff, and this is when I thought I was gonna die. So we're at this relay, right? And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna run. I have to run. I have to either like find someone to replace me or run. I can't just dip out because then I would feel bad. And I was like, oh, it won't be that big of a deal. I hadn't eaten breakfast. I didn't have time to eat breakfast. I don't remember why. I had like some water, and I think that was it, which is pretty terrible because it was like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like 10 o'clock. And in Mississippi, it's really humid and hot too. This was in the middle of the summer. You have to remember that. So I hadn't eaten. I was kind of lightheaded, not really. I was good. And it was hot. So it starts, and I was the first or second person to go. And I took off as fast as I could, which is the thing that you're not supposed to do, but it wasn't that serious to me, so I just did it, and I ran as hard as I could. I was in the lead for, I guess 200 meters, half the track, and then everybody passed me, but actually not everybody, but a lot of people passed me because my legs were like wiggling everywhere at that point. It was crazy. Like, I had never ran to a point where I was running as hard as I could, and usually, you know, you're going really fast, where I actually was going slow, even though I was pushing myself as hard as I could. Like, there was some straight muscle failure there. It was kind of funny. So anyways, whatever, I run, I make it to the end, right, I hand it off, and then someone else starts running. But after that happened, I felt like I was in space. My brain was like, I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't feel my hands, I couldn't feel my legs, I couldn't really breathe. It was so crazy. Like, I just was zoned out, tunnel vision, like, what just happened? And like, I walked under this like tent thing, and nobody was paying attention to me. Like, nobody gave a crap that I'm over here just like, I know what I look like because I saw myself when I went back to my room, which I'm getting to, but I literally looked like the white side of a Rubik's Cube. Like, I was so white, right? And I literally was laying on the rocks under this tent, just like, oh my goodness. And eventually an MTI came up to me, he was like, yo, you good? You good? And I was like, no, man, I just ran so hard, and it was crazy. So I literally, I had never felt like this in my entire life. I can't even explain it, but I felt like I was away from my body. I didn't feel a part of myself. And eventually my friend came over and was like, yo, what happened? I told him, and then he like walked me back to the rooms, right, the actual dorm. And I go in, and you know, usually during the day and stuff, when there's something going on, like, you can't really go to your room. You can try to finesse your way into your room and get away with it, and no one's gonna know you're in there. And it's kind of hard to do sometimes, but I finessed my way in. I got to my room, and I literally threw up. I mean, it was in the toilet, thank God, but I threw up so much. It was insane. I mean, all I had was water, but oh my God. I had never thrown up from running either, so this was a big first day for me, but I literally thought I was gonna die, and eventually I was like, screw this. After I threw up, I literally just went, and I took like a 2 or 3 hour nap or something like that. And by that time, everybody got released, and they were, my friends were looking for me. They're like, where are you? And I was like, oh, I threw up or whatever. So anyways, that is the story. I know it's like super random. It's not informational or anything like that. I mean, I guess it is. Just make sure you know what a relay is. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Also, there are links down below in the description for all the art that I make. I am a graphic designer, a photographer. I do a ton of stuff like that. Sometimes when I draw, I do stream it over on Twitch too, because they have like an art section and stuff like that. So I'll put that link down in the description as well, and you can go follow me on there. Just because I'm not always uploading videos, and if you want to keep in contact with me in a way and watch the content that I make or see the content that I put out, besides the Air Force related things, because this is not just all my life is. My life is way more complex than just the Air Force, but a lot of you don't know that. So all the resources to know more about me are down below. Again, this video was like super rambly, and it's not necessarily rambly, it's just like a story time video, so hopefully you can envision that. But yeah, anyways, again, thank you so much for watching, and peace out.